Hello, everyone. so, we're not quite at level 5 in Wanikani just yet, but we are rapidly approaching it. So I figure we take a moment or two and we go over the radicals here. Most of these don't necessarily have pronunciations on them since they're just radicals, but quite a few of them do, so shouldn't be too much, about 26. So let's get cracking. First off, we have kin for axe. The axe radical and kanji are the same in this case. So you imagine being back in time, too good, and now you're stuck using an axe to be a bread loaf counter. It's also used as a bread loaf counter for the king of England. You aren't sure which king he is or when in time you are, but he's mean and he keeps eating all the bread you cut up with your axe. Imagine being stuck using axe on bread while the king of England glares down at you, munching and spilling crumbs everywhere. I'm gonna readjust my seat actually. Give me just a second. There we go. I'm feeling tall and in charge now. So let's keep going. Next we've got blue, in this case say. I know owl is a pronunciation for it too, but I suppose not at the moment. This can also mean young. You can remember this by the life radical inside of blue, symbolizing the birth and growth of something new and therefore young. I guess that top portion kind of does look like it, and then under it I guess it would look kind of like moon. You've been feeling really blue, mostly because your skin, hair, and eyes and all have been turned blue. Everything is blue. The shogun, finds out, and now he's back. He places his hand on your shoulder and then points at your saber. Is blue too. So Sho looks like it's one of the other Onyomi readings. But in this case, we're gonna rely primarily on say. Next, we got coffin. This one's purely a radical. We can see it shows up in think, someone elderly, and torture. See the slide going into the dirt? That's where they threw your body when you die. It's actually a coffin. It's got this little cross on it. And you can think of the other horizontal line connecting it as the coffin itself, and it's kind of like inside of a hillside coffin. Next we got key. No pronunciation. A very oddly shaped key, but it's a key nonetheless. We'll see this guy show up in make, previous, vinegar, lie, and squeeze. Kind of have a symbol in there that resembles the kanji within the key. So think of these little teeth, the E-shaped kind of structure as the key itself. Kick. These are legs. They are bending funny. They're bending so that they can kick you. Imagine someone doing a flying kick at you. Look at their legs and yes, it looks just like this. So you can think of like that left portion as like the dude like a bracing, and then the right one as the flying kick coming in there. Iru, meaning color. You already have color on the mind because you know the meaning of this kanji. So think of something colorful about yourself. Imagine your ear, Iru, being a weird color, green, purple, red, whatever. Just make it really bright and standing out. You can even have someone ask you about your ear. Is your ear okay? I think it's the color blue. In this case, we got a green ear, an Iru. It looks kind of like the bed radical, but it's got a little like hook on top of it. Maybe that's an earring, if that helps you think of it. Iru. Yeah. Next we have hane for feather. Hold on, I got a little notification here. Get out of here, bucko. The feather radical and feather are the same in looks as well as meaning. All these feathers, you're a bird, man, or woman, and you're getting ready to fly. Just as you're about to take off, someone dumps you with some honey, and you're all goopy, unable to go anywhere. Taste the honey. Feel it all over your feathers. Go ahead and plummet towards the ground because you were jumping off a building to fly when someone doused you with honey. At least it's a tasty way to go, no? Kind of an Icarus situation. Image we have here, much more straightforward. It's a bird. They got honey on their wings. They're coming to the ground. Hane. go. This means go, but we're gonna use, it's pronounced ko, not to get them twisted. I love this song, by the way. So we're going with our good old friend Koichi here on this one. This handsome Japanese chap eating some gyoza. Oh, did he go again? When Koichi's not around, that's what people often say, because he goes to the gyoza restaurant almost every day. Koichi loves gyoza so much. You always know where he is when he's not home. Remember, when we see the ko reading, think of Koichi, the founder of Wanikani, who loves gyoza. We'll keep it consistent, so over time you should develop a character around Koichi that you learn to love or hate. Big fan of Koichi, I would smooch him. Keen for gold. I have in my home a vinyl copy of the soundtracks for Pokemon Gold and Silver, and there's one side that has gold written in kanji and the other one silver, so I see this one literally every day. Keen. So I have an association with gold version in Hoenn, so we got this like pheasant looking dude here representing Hoenn. Also in Megami Tensei, one of the dudes you see show up is King Ki. He's one of like these 4 elemental guardian dudes. The king refers to gold, so you can kind of see him in the upper left here. Gold. There's 2 sets of spikes underneath the hat here. It's actually a trap to prevent anyone from coming in and stealing your gold. Why else would you make a trap? Everyone else likes to protect their gold. Just know your radicals and you'll be golden, so to speak. The most gold in the land belongs to the King of England. In fact, you've never actually met someone with gold. It all goes straight to the king whenever someone finds some. You just have a few pennies to work with. Picture the king on a huge pile of gold. Gold coins, gold candelabra, gold ponies. He's laughing. He's got a gold pheasant in this case, pointing at all of it while making very strong eye contact with you. He's looking at you, he's like, hey, check it out. What do you think about my gold, my king, my blood, my people? King, gold. Lantern. Just a radical here. Think of an old style lantern. It's on top of a few legs. You can only see 2 from this angle, and it's in a box shaped holder at the top. You can imagine these lining the streets before electricity, right? That's why this radical is a lantern, so we can see this in shape, sharpen, departure, a few other things. Just think about that boxy shape and that little leg coming out as the edge of a lantern. Lip ring. Also just a radical. There's something hooked going into a mouth. Rather than a hook, though, it's a lip ring. They used to use fish hooks and nails in the old days. Glad we don't live like that anymore. So we've got what, song, and luggage that these show up in. So again, like the square shapes are intended to symbolize something round. So we got these 2 round things. You can think of it as being the lip and then the ring itself, lip ring. Niku, meaning meat. In this case, we got Nick Fury here grilling some meat. Inside of your head. It also kind of look like nai, like the kanji for inside. So inside of your head, you can only think about people, and more people. This is bad, because really all you want is their meat, because you're some kind of sick cannibal, you monster. When you think of people in your head, you're really just thinking about more meat you could eat. You know there's people eating going on here with this kanji. So when you think of this meat, you'll have to think about whose meat it is. In this case, it's Niku's meat. Do you know someone named Nick Fury? You can imagine. There's celebrities too. If you don't have someone like Nick Cage would do the trick. Nick Fury in this case. It's funny. The AI didn't want to generate Nick Fury by name. I just described what he looked like. He got it like immediately right on the money. He got a little blood coming from his eye too. Maybe he got in a battle while trying to get some of the people meat he's eating. Niku. Kai for meat. So it kind of has this hat radical within it. Under the hat, there are 2 people meeting in private. Look at them huddled up in there. They must have a reason to want to meet in such a private place, but that's not for you to judge. Maybe next time you have to meet with someone, you'll hide under a hat with them too. What better way to meet new people than to start kayaking? Kai, get into your kayak and just float out into the water. You'll eventually bump into someone else in a kayak, and boom, you're meeting someone new. I met my soulmate in a kayak, said Koichi. So I guess that's Koichi here to the side, bumping into this cute girl. Kai, for meat. Mustache. See the mustache going around the mouth? Same kind of situation with the lip. kind of represents her mouth here. I wish I could grow a sweet mustache like that. We're using Luigi here instead of Mario for the mustache, because in the Mario and Luigi games, there is a stat for mustache points. And notably, Luigi's got higher stash points than Mario. He grooms that sucker, keeps it looking fresh. Mustache radical, seen in same, yonder, and tail. Rain, ame. The towel is getting soaked with drops of liquid. That's because it's raining. It's kind of got the towel radical in there. Get your towels and other clothes inside before they get soaked through from this rain. What if the rain actually tried to aim for you, as in drops would move out of their normal flight path and just hit you in your head? You'd be a lot wetter, that's for sure. Imagine a world where each raindrop had to choose a target to aim for. How strange would the rainfall be? Also, ame and aim don't really sound too much alike, but the goal is to use aim to get to ame, so make sure to take note of that in your mind as you learn the reading. So in this case, it looks like the dude is more so aiming at the rain cloud. Like, he's holding a towel too, so he's got that radical in there, and we kind of have like drops coming down from it. So this cloud's got beef with this dude, so this dude's taking aim and taking action. He's not going to stand for no targeted hate from this rain cloud no more. Next we have run, so. We've seen so before for, I think, ASAP or early. See this person running? Don't confuse this with foot though. The head is just a streak because the person is running so fast. You run, and suddenly you feel your soul leave your body. Still running, you turn around and you see your soul running a few steps behind you. Running really takes it out of you. In this case, it takes your soul out of you. Don't worry, when you stop, your soul will collide with you again and everything will be okay. Probably. So in this case, Sonic has outrun his own soul, and his soul is doing his best to catch back up, and that's kind of scary, bud. Soul for run. Genji for say. There are a bunch of sound waves coming out of a mouth. The waves represent things you say. Radical pronunciation, same in this case. If you aren't sure what to say, just think about Genji and ask yourself, what would Genji say? Genji is a real smooth talker. In fact, he could talk his way out of anything. If you could just stay calm and think, what would Genji say? Before saying anything, you'll probably end up saying something cool instead of something lame. Got curious and looked up Genji a little bit. Not super familiar with the tale of Genji, but it looks like my fellow was a bit of a womanizer, so he's probably fully capable of some smooth talking. So if you want to talk smooth, say something nice, just say Genji. Think of Genji. Scooter. I was kind of thinking of a Persona 4 scooter situation since they're prominent there. Also, I was thinking of Yellow Vespa from Fulikuli that Haruko rides. The Radical's a scooter. See the handlebars and the little light. There's a platform at the bottom you can stand or sit on if it's one of those nice motorized ones. Note the AI did a little weirdness, put like another reflector like in this girl's hair. Interesting. We'll see this show up in near area. I was gonna say arena. Pass through weak road. So just think about that little scooter, just booking it. Self G. That little flex / drop on your eyes is what makes you unique. It's what makes you yourself. It's you, you know. When we need to remember G, we use the word Jesus. Who said you should always look at yourself before tossing stones or whatever at others? Jesus did. So make sure you look at your own self before being a jerk. You can feel free to do some introspection here. So we got this dude. He was going to throw this rock out there when he saw the reflection of the Messiah in the water. Held himself back. G, self. West, say. People are attacking from the west, so you pull out your saber and beat them back. You keep pushing further and further west until you reach the ocean, and there's nowhere left for them to turn or run. Picture yourself fighting your way west, your saber shining in the light of the sun, and as it sets in front of you, you'll protect your home from the west if it takes everything you and your saber have left. So imagine some samurai-esque dudes fighting off some cowboys by the cliffs at the sea, almost there or almost done, not much further west for these guys to go back. It's got that pie kind of radical shape in there too. So you have pie coming out of a mouth. 3.14 it says, we must take the secret of the circle with us, away from here. We must go to the magical place where nobody will persecute us for our math, a place to the west. Tsunami. three kind of water drop looking shapes here. You've seen one drop, but what happens if you have triple this and you have three drops, which happens to be the maximum number of drops you can have? You'll end up with a devastating tsunami because there's too much water and nowhere for it to go. Just think of this as a lot of water, and when you have a lot of water, you have a tsunami. No pronunciation here, but we can see it show up in a few other water related things: harbor, hot water, stream, pond, swim, alcohol, deep, wave. Just keep your eyes open for that tsunami. 20, not to be confused with actually meaning 20, but it's just kind of two Jews, two plus signs. You put them side by side. What do you get when you add these two together? You get 20. It's gonna have kind of a grid shape, which I guess seems to line up with its usage a little more. Music, calculate, kind of things that you might plot out. Grid itself. So yeah, 20. And that's our last. Oh no, it's not. Viking. It's just horns. Kind of has 3 horns. We got 4 in this image though. This is a roof with extra spikes or horns on it. Who was famous for having spiked roofs, spiked helmets, and spiked boats? That's right, Vikings. That's why this is the Viking radical. Window. No pronunciation. We'll see this in C, poison, ume, pierce. See the crisscross and the pseudo square shape? That's the frames of a big window you can look out. It's not perfectly shaped like a rice field. It's a little more artistic. That's why this is window and not the rice radical. I think that one's just straight up kanji. I don't even think that's just radical. Window in this case, not to be confused with rice, but they look similar. Wolverine. So we got these 3 claws coming out. You know Wolverine from the X-Men? He had 3 claws that came out of his hand whenever he needs to fight. Not at all unlike the radical you see here. Those will show up in correct, snow, action, conflict, wife, slave. Interesting. All right, and I think this is our actual last one. So thank you again for listening, and may this help you on your Wanikani journey. Bye-bye.